Yo, what's going on, boys? It's Ulster back again with another podcast, and today, as the title says, we're talking about coronavirus. It's only going to be a brief podcast, just to give a little chat here and there about a bunch of things, but more or less, we're going to cover a couple of questions that have been sent in. So, yeah, the virus has been spreading quite a lot with different countries approaching it differently, and hopefully, we get to explore some of the things that may affect it. Solar Frogs has asked, how bad do you think the virus will be? And my opinion on that varies from country to country. It depends how the country responds to it. So, for instance, places that have shut down all their transport, all the travel, they will reduce the outgoing infections and the incoming infections, and the possibility of that going up and down, no, up, sorry, will dramatically drop, which means that the country will be safer, and other countries, is on top of that, will be safer. But other countries that I won't name for uh, point of getting inflamed in the comments, take no right stance towards the virus at all, and rarely screen or test their citizens. This puts other people at major risk because people who have the coronavirus can slip through and infect thousands of people, depending on where they go. If they stand next to one person for 15 minutes, that person is likely to have the virus. Now, that person can go spread it to a bunch of people, like their family. Those people will spread out, and it's kind of like a chain reaction. It's like squaring numbers. It gets progressively bigger as it goes up, and the jumps are also bigger the further down the line you go. How and to fully answer the question, how bad do you think the virus will be? I think, an honest opinion, I think it will get quite bad, mainly because of the social aspect. People are greedy, people are selfish, people refuse to work together quite often. So unless the governments enforce martial law or some uniform working scheme, I don't think people will be working well together, and the virus will spread dramatically and kill possibly thousands of more people than it already has. Misty comes along and asks, do you think there'll be a cure? And if you do, when do you think it would come out? So, from what I've been reading, there's no discernible cure just yet. If this is from my research. If there is anything, please link it down below. That'd be great help. But at the time of recording, from what I'm reading, there's no cure. When it will come out, it could take ages. If you watch the movie Contagion, it shows a virus that's very deadly. It takes it over 9 months to cure, and from then on, it takes ages to get everybody else cured. Mainly because there are 7 billion people in this earth, which means, or over that even, which means there needs to be 7 billion cures. Which means on top of that, so many people need to work to make, develop, design these cures. So it's not just a fact of how long do you think the cure will come out, it's how long will it take to get fully distributed. Uh, but to add to that, people can get better from the coronavirus. There are videos on YouTube of people who have been diagnosed with coronavirus that go through a cough, they get better from the cough, they get a flu, they get better from the flu, then it imitates pneumonia, which is definitely one sign. If you get pneumonia, get checked out for coronavirus, and it gets better from pneumonia. It's only people with underlying health issues or that are unwell or risky. So people that are old, infant children, heavily asthmatics, obese people with lung problems, all of that, they are more at risk of dying from coronavirus than anything else. Queso says, do you think the virus has a chance to mutate? And if it does, do you think it could be a total annihilation for the entire population as a whole? Right. Um, so let's start with the first question. Yes, I do think it has a chance to mutate because any virus, any cell, any organism can mutate. It is a known fact. Anything can mutate, and the severity of it depends on the mutation. The mutation could kill the virus, the mutation could slow it down, the mutation could speed it up, and the mutation could make it 100% lethal. There are times where a virus could be 100% immune to anything we could create, or it could be that there is no biological immunity, so it's purely cure based to get it cured. But total annihilation, the closest to population annihilation I've seen an illness come to is the Black Plague in England, where it wiped out over a third of the population, which was a couple hundred years ago. But it's very, very unlikely that a total mass annihilation mutation will occur, just because of the billions upon trillions of opportunities through DNA and other aspects like cell mutation that can happen to force change in this virus. And it's also area sufficient or dependent. Depending on the heat, the weather, the biome of where the virus is, it'll behave differently. So how effective it is at mutating will change from area to area. Cloudy says, do you think the virus is dangerous, or do you think the media just makes it seem like a big deal? Let's start with the last question first. A bit odd, but yeah. Media, like newspapers, news outlets, they always look for clickbaity titles, clickbaity kind of lines, so not all of them are fully reliable, as you should know by now. Don't fully rely on the news. Go to doctor posts, go to Reddit, where they've got /coronavirus, useful source for many different links about doctor posts, up-to-date news and everything. The news makes a big deal out of everything because that's their job. The coronavirus is dangerous for anyone with underlying health issues, but 90% of the time, if you're fully healthy, if you're fit, if you exercise, you will get ill, but you will get better from that. And the last question today by Iron. Do you personally have an autoimmune disease that puts you at risk? I'm going to message him now, quickly saying, unless asthma counts, then no. I have asthma, so which means my breathing pipe is thinner than most people, which means I have to breathe harder to draw in the same amount of air, or if I breathe normally, I draw in less air. Now, this puts me at a weakness for coronavirus, because if I'm ill, if I've got pneumonia, I won't be able to breathe as much. My cells will need more oxygen. I won't be able to provide that oxygen. I have a higher chance of dying than a lot of normal people, which is a bit scary, admittedly. But, I'm a healthy bloke. Aside from that, I train, I exercise, I cycle a lot. I'm healthy most of the time. My food choices aren't as such, but I train a lot. I cycle a lot. I cycle pretty much everywhere, apart from like family go outs, and I do a lot of tennis with my dad. So yeah, I'm pretty healthy in that regard. So that's all the questions we've had for today. I know it's a short one, and I'm sorry about that. If you want to see my first podcast, it won't be on this channel. This will be the first podcast on this channel. My first actual podcast I've ever done will be linked in the description below. It's all about how to get into competitive gaming from the standpoint of me. I used to be a competitive gamer. If you're interested in that sort of stuff, please go watch that. Give me your feedback in the comments section. I'd love to know how to get better at this sort of stuff, since I've really enjoyed making these podcasts. If you want to see me bring a second person onto the show to get a bit of a debate section going, please comment down below about that as well. Any other suggestions, please do tell me. Peace.